Staying home alone at night changes the way your brain works. Sounds that don't matter during the day suddenly feel important. The house feels bigger, quieter, like it's holding its breath with you. Tonight, I've got 3 unsettling stories about people who are completely alone when something went wrong. The first one happened to me about 3 years ago. I had just moved into a small rental house on the edge of a town in upstate New York. It wasn't remote enough to feel isolated during the day, but at night it was a different story. The street only had 4 houses on it, and mine sat at the very end, backed up against a stretch of woods that went on for miles. There were no streetlights past the second house. After dark, the only light came from your own windows. I liked that at first. It felt quiet, peaceful, like I finally had space to breathe after years of apartment living. That feeling didn't last. I worked late shifts at a warehouse about 20 minutes away. Most nights, I got home around 11:30. I'd eat something quick, maybe watch TV, then go to bed. Same routine almost every day. One night in early November, I got home later than usual. It was closer to midnight, and the temperature had dropped hard. You could see your breath in the air. I remember that specifically because I stood outside my car for a second, just looking at the house. Something felt off. I couldn't explain it. The porch light was on like always. The windows were dark. Nothing looked out of place. But I stayed there longer than I should have, keys still in my hand, just watching. Eventually, I shook it off and went inside. Everything seemed normal. I locked the door behind me, turned on the TV, and went into the kitchen to heat up leftovers. About 10 minutes later, while I was standing at the counter, I heard something from the back of the house. A soft, dull thump. Not loud, not dramatic, just enough to make me stop moving. I stood there, listening. Nothing. I told myself it was probably something shifting in the house. Old places make noise. Pipes, wood, temperature changes. There's always an explanation. Still, I walked down the hallway and checked the back door. It was closed, locked. I checked the windows in the living room next, all shut. By the time I went back to the kitchen, the feeling had passed. I finished eating, watched TV for a while, then went to bed. The next morning, I found the first sign something wasn't right. My back door was slightly open. Not wide, just enough that the latch wasn't fully set. The kind of thing you might miss if you weren't looking closely. But I knew I had locked it. I stood there for a long time, staring at that small gap, trying to convince myself I had just forgotten, that I was tired, distracted. People make mistakes. I closed it, locked it again, and went to work. That night, I was more aware of everything, every sound, every shadow. I checked the doors twice, then 3 times. Nothing happened. Same the next night, and the next. After a few days, I started to relax again. Whatever it was, I told myself it was nothing. About a week later, I woke up in the middle of the night. No reason, no noise that I could remember, just awake. My room was completely dark, except for a thin strip of light coming from under the door. The TV in the living room must have still been on. I laid there for a minute, listening. Then I heard it. Footsteps. Slow. Careful. Moving across the living room floor. I didn't move. I didn't even breathe. The steps stopped right outside my bedroom door. I watched the thin line of light under the door. A shadow passed over it. Someone was standing there. The handle didn't turn. There was no knocking, nothing. Just presence. I don't know how long I stayed like that. It could have been seconds. It felt like minutes. Then the shadow moved away. The footsteps returned, slow and deliberate, heading back toward the living room. A moment later, I heard the back door open, then close. I stayed in bed until morning. When the sun finally came up, I checked the house. Nothing was missing, nothing broken, but the back door was unlocked. I moved out a week later. I never found out who it was, or how long they had been coming in. The second story comes from someone I used to work with. He lived alone in a single-story house just outside a small town in Arizona, the kind of place where neighbors weren't far, but you couldn't see them from your yard. Behind his house was open desert, flat land, scattered brush, and no real barriers. He told me the first time something strange happened, he didn't even think it was a big deal. He came home one afternoon and noticed his gate was open. It led into his backyard. He usually kept it closed because of stray dogs in the area. He figured he had just forgotten. Closed it, went inside, that was it. A couple days later, he noticed it again. Same thing. This time he knew he hadn't left it open.
Still, there was no damage, no footprints he could clearly see, nothing stolen. He shrugged it off. The third time it was open when he got home at night. That bothered him more. He walked through the yard with his phone flashlight, checking the corners, the fence line, the back of the house. Everything looked normal. Until he reached the far corner of the yard. There was a patch of dirt where the ground had been disturbed, like someone had been digging, then stopped. Not a deep hole, just enough to notice. That's when he started feeling uneasy. That night he locked everything, doors, windows, even the gate. Sometime after midnight he heard a noise outside, a scraping sound, like something dragging across wood. He got out of bed and went to the window that faced the backyard. At first he didn't see anything. Then he noticed the gate. It was moving, not swinging open, shaking, like someone on the other side was testing it, pushing, pulling, trying to see if it would give. He stood there, frozen, watching. The movement stopped. Then slowly, very slowly, a hand appeared over the top of the gate. Just the fingers at first, then more. Whoever it was started to pull themselves up. He backed away from the window immediately and grabbed his phone. By the time he got back, the yard was empty. The gate was still closed. Police came, looked around, didn't find anything. They told him it was probably someone trying to cut 3 yards. He didn't believe that. 2 nights later, he woke up to a loud crash. Glass breaking. He grabbed a baseball bat he kept by his bed and ran into the hallway. The back window had been shattered. Cold air poured in. And standing just outside, partially lit by the porch light, was a man. He wasn't trying to get in anymore. He was just standing there, looking inside. My coworker yelled, raised the bat, told him to leave. The man didn't react. Didn't move. Didn't speak. Just stood there, staring. Then without warning, he turned and walked off into the darkness of the desert, like he had just lost interest. The police never found him. My coworker moved shortly after. The last story is the one that stuck with me the most. It came from a woman who lived alone in a townhouse in a quiet suburban neighborhood, the kind of place where nothing ever happens. She had a routine. Work during the day, home by evening, dinner, TV, bed. Simple. Safe. One night she woke up around 2 in the morning. Again, no clear reason. Just awake. Her bedroom door was open slightly, and the hallway light was on. That didn't make sense. She always turned it off before bed. She sat up, listening. That's when she heard it. A faint rustling sound, coming from somewhere in the house. She grabbed her phone and slowly got out of bed. Step by step, she moved toward the door. The hallway was empty. The hallway light buzzed softly overhead. She checked the bathroom, nothing. The kitchen, nothing. The living room. That's where she saw it. One of the couch cushions was on the floor. She knew she hadn't left it like that. Her chest tightened. She turned in a slow circle, scanning the room. Everything else looked normal, until she noticed the closet door. It was slightly open. That closet led to a small storage space under the stairs. She never left it open. Never. She stood there, staring at that narrow gap, trying to decide what to do. Then the door moved. Just a little. From the inside. She didn't scream, didn't run. She just backed away. Step by step. Her eyes never leaving that door. It opened wider. And a man stepped out. He was thin, pale, wearing dark clothes that looked too big for him. He didn't rush her. Didn't speak. He just stood there. Like he had been waiting. She turned and ran for the front door. Behind her she heard movement, fast this time. But she made it outside. Barefoot, no jacket. Just running into the street. She screamed for help. Lights came on in neighboring houses. A door opened somewhere. And the man stopped. He didn't chase her further. Didn't try to grab her again. He just stood in the doorway of her house, watching. Then he stepped back inside. By the time police arrived, he was gone. They searched the house. The closet space had signs someone had been staying there. Empty food wrappers, a blanket. He had been inside her home, living there, watching her. They never found him. And she never went back. Because sometimes, being alone at night isn't about the sounds you hear. It's about the ones you don't. The moments where everything is quiet, but something is already there.